Good morning and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. Today we are still talking about Star Wars. We've been doing all month long. So this review today is on Crosscurrent from the Legacy of the Force or Fate of the Jedi. Legacy of the Force, actually, I think, overall book series within the greater Star Wars expanded universe. This one is kind of set apart from the whole Jason Solo story arc. It's completely separate. Definitely much more of a standalone novel, though technically I believe it's a duology. So there is a second book after this one dealing with Jedi Knight Jaden Core. Basically, the story behind this is a discovery is made that could be a huge threat to the Galactic Alliance and the galaxy as a whole. We have this ship full of Sith warriors that is traversed from 5,000 years into the past into the modern galactic age. And Jaden Core is the only Jedi that can stop them, or rather, he's taken it upon himself to stop them when he stumbles upon this whole mess of a situation. So the beginning of the book kind of flips back and forth between the events 5,000 years ago, which led up to this Sith ship being transported into their future, essentially, and the modern day, which Jedi Knight Jaden having these force visions about where he needs to go and what he needs to do to discover the truth of what's going on out there. But overall, the book, it's a typical Star Wars book, Jedi Knight versus Sith. Nothing too original in that kind of storyline has come up on this. So I mean, it was not bad. It wasn't. I wouldn't say that it's a fantastic, amazing read or anything like that. Definitely was not terrible, but it was really kind of, I say, mediocre in the middle there. I wanted to give it 3.5 stars, but just couldn't do that on Goodreads. There's not an option for like a half star, so I did give it 3 overall. Just don't think it deserves 4 stars realistically. But overall, yeah, I mean, not bad. It was good. It was fun. I mean, Jedi versus Sith. That's always fun and entertaining. It's pretty much every story in the whole Star Wars canon. There's Sith involved. There's Jedi involved, and just that's just the type of world or universe that's created with the whole Star Wars thing. So this is kind of a good. It could even be a standalone novel if you wanted it to be. It doesn't have to be, of course. It does have a second part. I believe it's called Riptide, which is coming up next. I'll be reading that next. But definitely, I think it works well as a standalone, even. So it's an interesting read. It's a good read all around. Not too bad. Not too great, but not too bad. I will say though that I do enjoy how some of this expanded universe that's going on, this whole Star Wars canon, is we start to have Jedi Knights questioning their own religion, essentially, questioning whether they are truly the good guys. Do they truly get a monopoly on good, right versus wrong? Or is it kind of this cult like mentality where they've been indoctrinated, taught that, because they use the light side of the force, they're therefore good and everything they can do is good? When in reality, maybe that's not totally the case. That's not true reflection of reality, of what the force really is, or even questioning whether the force truly has a light side or a dark side, or whether it's just this construct, this idea that's been created through indoctrination and religious dogma of the Jedi Order. I really like how that kind of comes out in some of the characters, and Jaden specifically, about going ahead and questioning his own faith. One aspect of this story was with regard to this Anzat hunter. He's looking to basically hunt Jedi and feed on their souls, essentially. It's kind of the impression I got from this, though, which is cool. Like, it's a cool idea. It's a pretty awesome idea, in fact, I think. But I think it probably could have just as easily been left out of the book without actually impacting the overall story arc and storyline within the book. And it's not to say that it wasn't an interesting aspect of the story. It's just, yeah, I mean, it was there, it was cool, but it could have just have easily been left out without there being any consequence to the overall story arc. So that could have easily been its own separate book. Maybe develop that into a further storyline for a separate book, not necessarily included within this book. And I want to emphasize, I don't think that that was a bad part of the story. It just seemed like it could have not been there, not made a difference at all to the story. But I mean, if you read it and you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments below. If you think that it serves a vital role in the story, maybe there's something I missed. I don't know, but I just didn't think that it necessarily needed to be there for the overall story arc of of this book. And those are just some of my thoughts on Star Wars Crosscurrent. And definitely we'll be continuing with the last Star Wars book for a while as far as reviews goes. I got one more to read, and then we're going to move on to more fantasy novels. I think the Witcher series is coming up next as soon as I'm done Star Wars. So definitely don't forget to stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this kind of content. And we will see you on the next episode of Drew's Book Reviews. And until then, keep reading. Bye.